Civil AccuDraw XY. That is this option right here in your Civil AccuDraw options. AbsoluteXY. This will allow you to come in here and draw something or place something with the absolute coordinates of the design file. So let's say we need to come in here, and I'm just going to place a simple line first. You notice on the end of my cursor, now as I move around, you'll see that's going to move or change as I move around in my design file to the coordinates of the file. So let's say I knew from point A to point B to place this line, I knew the coordinates of it. So if I come in here and let's say I have my X coordinates is 850, I type in 850 and I'll lock that value by hitting the enter key. And now my Y value, let's say it's 1300. So I'll type in 1300, enter, and now you'll see that those two values are locked from the absolute coordinates or the coordinates of the design file. So now if I left click to accept it, it's going to start that line at that coordinate. Now if I need to go to another point, let's say I knew the other point up here for the coordinates of that particular line that I'm placing, and I'll type in 1350, enter to lock that in, and I'll do 1650 for my Y. And hit enter, lock those two values in, and I'll left click to place it, and I'm finished. And of course I can keep going on if I do other coordinates to place that line and so forth. But that is what the XY option does in your Civil AccuDraw options. Another thing that we could do is we could place a point or place a cell in the design file at that coordinates. So let's say we come in here and I'm just going to use my horizontal geometry task and use my point option. Allows me to place a civil point. Now if I come in here and I'll define what feature definition that I want to put, whether it's a right-of-way marker or Kogo point or whatever feature definition that is set up for placing a point. And I'm just going to use this one right here that says land corner marker. And if I knew the coordinates of that particular marker, I could simply type those in. So let's say it's 950 and 1500. I'll lock those two values in. I'll left click to place it, and it places that cell in that spot. Or if there was some other cell that I need to place, maybe I didn't need it to be a civil point, I just need it to be a standard cell that's just placed out there using my task. I could come in here now. You could use my MoDOT design CAD standards and come in here and let's do a traffic control sheets, and I'll just do a sign. Maybe there's a sign at a certain spot. You know, I could do it that way also. So many different options underneath there depending on how you want to place it. But that is what the XY option does in your Civil AccuDraw options. Now, one thing that we can do is once we place those points, like for this cell right here, if I need to change that, you know, I could replace that cell if it was at a different coordinates. Or another option that I could do is I can come in here and click on that option. If you hover over top of it, it'll give you a heads-up toolbar of the options that it can possibly do. For this one here, we can go to the properties of it. And on the properties of the origin right here, if I need to change the origin or the X or the Y inside here, I can simply do it inside this box without replacing that particular point or that cell that's in the file. So if I come in here and let's say I put in 1400 instead of 1500, and I'll hit enter to lock that value, you'll notice that the cell is going to change now according to whatever the design file coordinates are. And I'll just left click out on the screen just to clear out that selected point. So that's what the AbsoluteXY option does in your Civil AccuDraw.